as a leader? Perhaps, maybe you're in a situation where you are starting in a leadership role and you are trying to gain more influence. Perhaps you're in a situation where you've been in a leadership role for an extended amount of time, but you feel like your influence is starting to fade a bit. Well, in this video, it is a Q&A, and you're welcome to ask me any questions as it relates to becoming more influential as a leader. Now, I do want to let you know that I am going to share with you one secret to consider as you are trying to become more influential as a leader. This channel, if you're new to me, welcome, welcome. And if you're one of my amazing subscribers, welcome back, friend. I'm glad that you're here today. This channel heavily focuses on advanced communication skills and strategies to help you communicate in those very high stakes, high pressure situations. If you are trying to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure as a leader, you don't want to be the person that freezes when you are challenged or when you're asked a question. And this is the very best place for you to be at on YouTube, the only place that does live, high stakes, high pressure communication type topics in a live setting. Now, if you happen to be a woman in leadership, I provide executive coaching and consultation services to you directly. Feel free to reach out to me for an executive strategy session to gain more clarity on the next steps that you are trying to do in your career. Or if you are really ready and serious about being able to communicate and elevate how you're communicating as a leader, my high stakes communication intensive will completely change your life. Take a look at it at excellence.org. Now, we've talked about influence a lot on the channel here in the past couple of days. I do want to give a special shout out to Kat 23rd for this topic because influence is something that is very important. And a lot of times when people think about influence, they think about the ability to change things. And when I looked up the definition from Merriam-Webster as it relates to the word influence, I'm not going to recite it verbatim because I'm driving, but overall, you can look at the definition and it says influence is your ability to impact or affect someone without force. Now, we've talked about it quite a bit in terms of influence, some strategies you want to keep in mind when you're trying to influence other people as a leader and etc. But today, I want to talk about secrets. I want to answer any questions you have. If you're watching the replay, you're more than welcome to ask me anything in the chat. Or if you're watching live, let me know. I want to say hello to those of you watching the live today. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world today that you are joining from and what questions you have about becoming more influential as a leader, making that big impact, accomplishing your vision, and etc. Put in the comments below. Let me know what questions you have. Now, today I'm talking about secrets. We've talked about a lot as it relates to influence. Take a look at my live here on my YouTube channel and take a look at a couple of videos that talk specifically about influence. I give a lot of great insights in terms of what are some things you need to say, what are some challenges you may experience, and etc. But one of the secrets I want to share with you today that people tend to not think about as it relates to influence has to do a lot with who you communicate with. Now, before I go into that into more detail, I want to say hello to OT. OT says, hey, and I appreciate the heart emojis, friends. Hope you all are doing well today. Let me know what part of the big, beautiful world you are joining from today. And what questions do you have about becoming more influential? Maybe you're starting out in a leadership role. Maybe you've been in a leadership role for an extended amount of time and you're noticing that your influence is starting to fade. Let's talk about it here today. I want to say hello to Con3420. Hello, Con. How you doing today? One of the secrets I want to share with you as it relates to influence, outside of what I've already shared. So take a look at my live tab, look at the titles that specifically talk about influence, and this will all build upon that. But today I want to do a secret. A lot of times people worry about influence in terms of how can I be more influential? What do I say? What do I do? And etc. But they don't talk about this. And this is my secret for you today. Hello, Superfly. Superfly Your. How are you doing today? The secret I want to share with you is that a lot of people do not talk about who who is it specifically that you need to speak to become more influential? Let me give you an example of something that I have learned over the past 20 years of being in a senior executive leadership type of roles for a long time. Thank you for the heart emojis, friend. I appreciate you. Before I go into that, let me go into the chat. Con says, "Where are you from?" I am from the United States. Let me know where you all are joining from today in this big, beautiful world. Let me give you an example. When you are trying to become more influential, one of the most important strategies that I would share with you to help you become more influential, in addition to what I've already shared with you on the channel. Now, this is just all putting things together, but you have to know who the decision makers are. Who are the key players in your industry? Who are the key players in your organization? Who are the key players in your businesses or your communities? You have to know who these key players are. A lot of people do not talk about this as it relates to influence. They focus a bit more on what do you need to do, what's your mindset, all of those things, which are very, very important, by the way. But if you really are really trying to become very influential as a leader, you need to know who's making decisions, who will make the decisions on your behalf. Because once you know who those people are, it will allow you to be that person who knows exactly who you need to talk to get things done. Now, I'm going to give you an example of something that I do personally, and I hope that it helps you as you are communicating in those very high stakes, high pressure situations. And if you like this information so far, you are more than welcome to take a look at some of the videos on my live tab. If you are at a point in your career where you want to be able to communicate more confidently and concisely under pressure, maybe you have salary negotiations, maybe you're having difficult conversations as a leader, or etc., then take a look at the following videos to give you a foundation. On my live tab, thinking on your feet, managing your emotions under pressure, maintaining eye contact, managing your tone of voice, being aware of your body language, all of those type of videos, and a lot more, executive presence, I would add to that too. These videos on my live tab will give you a solid foundation to start communicating more confidently under pressure. Most leaders know how to communicate. That's why they're leaders. But they struggle with communicating under pressure, and that is my expertise. If you join me here on this channel, you will be a part of the mission I'm doing, which is to build the largest high stakes, high pressure content library for leaders on planet Earth. And if you want to be a part of that, then you absolutely want to join and subscribe to the channel. All right, let me go to the chat and then I'll share with you exactly what I do specifically when it relates to being more influential as a leader. All right, let me see. Con says, "What a sweet accent." Well, thank you, Con. I appreciate that, friend. And I'm glad you're here and hope to see you again on another video. This is something that I actually do when or did when I was in a senior executive leadership role for the past 20 years. This is something I would actually do specifically. Whenever you have a situation that requires a lot of people to buy into what you are doing, or maybe there's a situation coming up where you need to make a big influence or let people know or speak up for yourself and etc. This is personally what I do. There may be a situation, it may be challenging. I may be trying to figure out the pieces that are coming together, but ultimately, I find out who is in charge. Who is the manager? Who is the boss? Who is the supervisor? Who are the people that are going to make the decisions, and etc. Now, if you are in different types of roles, it could be your supervisors, your bosses, it could be your board members, it could be your stakeholders. Thank you for the heart emojis, friends. It could be a lot of people, but you have to know who the decision makers are. And if you don't know who the decision makers are, then one of the things I would ask you to do today is find out who they are. This is a key to influence. So, for example, if you are in a role, and thank you for the heart emojis, friends, if you are in a role and you are trying to make a big change, a big initiative, then I would say, who is it that will ultimately make this decision? Who is that person? And whoever that person is, that's exactly who you need to go to and communicate with first. Now, let's say, for instance, if you are in a situation where you don't know, or maybe you know who that decision maker is, but your access to that person perhaps is very limited. That's okay. Find ways to create access. And if you have questions about this and you need some support, then absolutely send me a message here, either on any of my social media accounts, LinkedIn, Instagram, and Facebook and TikTok. They're all in the description of this live. But if you need to develop a strategy to start gaining access, or maybe you're trying to advance in your careers or advance in your roles or your businesses, then comment below and let me know. But find out who those decision makers are. I am sharing with you secrets from the past 20 years that have taken me a long time to figure out. And influence is important. If you're trying to really make that big change in your life, in your role, and in the world, which I know the fact that you are subscribed to my channel, that you are, because my content here is directly catered toward a certain type of individual. This is not the content where you're going to see someone sing and dance and act silly. No, this is the content that will absolutely change your life. And I know that you're here and you are a leader and you're at the point where you're trying to make those changes. So I'm telling you the secret. This is the secret you want to master. Make sure you find out who are the decision makers. Talk to those people so that you can become more influential. So the next time when you have a situation that comes up and you need to exert your influence, you know exactly who it is you need to communicate with to make it happen. I hope this gives you some insight for you to consider as you are becoming more influential as a leader. If you have any questions, let me know. I will be going live this evening to talk more about this topic, and we'll go into a lot more detail. You're welcome to join me. I go live here at least 7 times a week on YouTube, so much that I'm a part of YouTube's live streamer research panel because I go live so much. So I'm here to support you in the way that I can, and I hope you all have an absolutely fantastic day.